Hi, this is Edip. If you know me, I will be talking about Zühdi Jasser, or who else? We have Majid Nawaz, Zuhdi Jasser, and a few others like Ayaan Hirsi Ali. There are few people have been kind of used by right-wing Western media in order to justify the aggression of the Western world and the imperialism and invasions. I promote Islamic reform. I am one of the outspoken critic of the Sunni and Shiite religions and their practices. But at the same time, I am fair. Why I am condemning their misogyny, their terrorism, their radicalism, their basically backwardness. When I say terrorism, of course, a majority of them are not terrorists. We should know that the terrorists, in fact, kill more Sunnis and Shiites than Christians. But at the same time, also I see the hypocrisy of the Western front. The Western world, baptized by democracy, is blinded to their crimes against humanity. We are very good in that, to blind ourselves to our atrocities and crimes. Recently, I had a European tour in Germany. I gave a lecture to Germans. Some of them were Christians, some were agnostics. And I said, well, from East, I also spent half of my life in the West. And I said, I stand against the aggression, the atrocities committed by the so-called Muslims. I have written, look at my book, for example, Manifesto for Islamic Reform. If you read it, you will find it is both academic and political and theological, powerful political and theological criticism towards today's Sunni scholars and the dogmas they are teaching and their practices. But at the same time, I see the Western world is hypocrite. The last century, look at the wars, the number of people, millions of people killed by Christians. The Western world is Christian. United States Christian. When time comes, they are good Christians. But when come to the killing, no, we are not Christian. But they have chaplain, they pray for every soldier when they send them to commit crimes, to kill people around the world, to destroy homes, to destroy cities. Hiroshima and Nagasaki has been defended. It was not terrorism, though we deliberately aim to cities, but we have better reasons. There's always justification for the biggest terrorism in history of the world, the recent history. There is always justification. When the government, our government, Western government does, well, it is good. It is for the good of people. We loved Iraq so much. We loved our enemies so much. We made up lies against them, though they didn't attack us. They were not any kind of danger, threat to us. We sent them well-nourished pilots who could push the buttons and reward them, help them through bombs. Awe and shock, we call it. We had the pictures of Baghdad, nighttime with flames, with fire, our bombs, showering them with democracy. But the Western media did not show the picture of dead children and women and people, maimed, their body parts all around. You don't see them. When we kill, we just create a big fire, what's called? Bonfire? We do that. It is celebration. We save those people. Well, the number was close to 1 million people, according to some Western NGOs. like I think Doctors Without Borders estimated the number of people killed because of the invasion, during invasion and after the invasion, close to 1 million Iraqis. Even half of that is a huge number, even a quarter of that huge number, even 1/10 of that huge number. We don't even mention that. What happened to that population when you go recklessly, disregard to human life, you bomb them, destroy their cities, and later, in order to accomplish, you create the sectarian war there, it was first inflamed by British in Basra, we know it, through provocation, covert operations. Those people, they were together for centuries. They didn't kill, it was historical, they killed each other, but still there was a controlled, there was relatively peaceful coexistence. But somehow after invasion, boom, you see Sunnis and Shiites, they start killing each other. Invasion and that. If you are a scientist, you can see very close correlation. Terrorism, so-called terrorism, which is gang terrorism, but state terrorism is 1,000 times more. 666 times more. Let's put that number. But we ignore state terrorism. The violence used by states, especially Western states, the biggest merchants of weapon. Where are they? Are they in the East? Well, you go to your church, you say peace, love your neighbor, but you vote for bigger military, more money for military. A quarter of the budget, American budget, goes to military. What does it mean? Means bloodthirsty vampires, military-industrial complex, they are making big profit from shedding blood, sending overseas, Latin America or Middle East for Far East. Philippines, that's okay. Yemen, that's fine. Oh, who cares? Afghanistan, who cares? And then go bomb them, kill the children of the poor people by using the children of the poor American. And they become heroes. Those who make decision for wars. Anyway, now these Jasser and these are stooges. They find them somehow and they feed them. And I look at the Jasser information. He got hundreds, thousands of dollars from these right-wing of organization or company or so-called think tank, dubious, semi-official, non-official, but he got money from right-wing Christians, from Zionists, and then he's there, of course, he's beating their drums. But this guy, when he came to Arizona, I wanted to see him. His criticism of Muslims was absolutely good. I entirely agree. In fact, I criticized long before him, years before him, it's in 1986. My books in Turkish and in English is witnessed to that. But, and of course he doesn't have theological argument as I do have. I have translated the Quran to Turkish and English. Quran, a Reformist translation. In English it was published in 2007. But this Jasser, he is well versed in criticism of Muslims. Good. Fine. But he doesn't say a word to condemn, to criticize the atrocities committed by the Western world or Israel. I was there, I said, I want to also record this. He was invited to University of Arizona College of Law, my alma mater. When I heard from that, I said, okay, here it's time to meet Jasser and to question him regarding his honesty. An intellectual must be honest. The integrity of intellectual. should not sell himself for money or fame. But this guy, he has inferiority complex. He denies his own culture, his own ethnicity, his own existence in order to flatter, in order to basically a useful idiot. He's a useful idiot. It is disgusting when I see. Because over there I wanted to video, they didn't want me to video because they knew perhaps what would happen. They knew me, some of them knew me. And then here it is, I said, well, your criticism of Muslims is well taken. I said, very good. I do the same. However, I didn't hear you criticizing Israel when just a few months ago, Israel attacked to Gaza, the people who are under the siege, boycott, and killed about 2,500 of them, 500 of them being children. And Israel lost 2 soldiers. But the whole Western media talk about peanut-sized big rockets, 1,500 or 2,000 rockets Hamas is throwing in Israel. Somehow they evaporate in the air. If one of them by chance hit the street, empty street, all the microscope on that. But the children and United Nations several times condemned Israel for directly, intentionally targeting schools, hospitals. And it was a massacre, atrocity. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 20, not 30, 2,500. Where were you, Jasser? This is the biggest terrorism. These people do not have even weapon to defend themselves. The biggest lies. Anyway, therefore this guy doesn't have integrity. The other guys also. And now let's see, watch one of the program. What a shame. In one of the schools, Arab American kids are saying American again, not Iraqi, not Saudi, not Turkish, not Afghani, American national anthem in their own language, mother language. And this creates big protest from racists, of course racism. I am critical of many Arabs, but Arabs in general, how can I say Arabs, all Arabs like this? It is absolute racism. How can I have problem with Arabic language or any other language? It is bigotry and racism. And this guy, he doesn't need to be an Arab to defend them. These are children. It made them, wow, this is incredible. They are saying American national anthem, but he must be a stooge. He has inferiority complex. He needs to get more money from them. And then what he says, unbelievable. What a shameless, unbelievable.
Listen to this. Pine Bush High School in New York under attack for asking students to...
Now, says, I pledge allegiance to Allah. First of all, not. This is a deceptive title of the Fox. Of course, Fox, this job is distort the facts. And, but they recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, let me increase the volume. Go.
Recite the Pledge of Allegiance in Arabic.
Watching the news and stuff, I know that there's people, sacrificing, their lives.
Everything that happened was between our country and them, and then we're saying our country's pledge in their language.
You are the supporter, your country is supporter of the worst country on earth, one of the worst countries after Israel, or before Israel, because Israel at least has some courage. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is the stooge of Israel and United States, Saudi kings. You are supporting them, and they were the one, it was 15 Saudis who attacked in 9/11. They cannot think. Of course, they find these people ignorant people on the street. There are many people who have no clue about where are those countries. They don't even where are those countries. Fed by the same media, misinformation, and then the same information extracted from those people who were misinformed in the first place by the same media. What a vicious cycle. I like it. This media feed them with false information and then goes ask them question. That's true. Here it is. Our people knows the truth.
So there you hear it's not sitting well with students, but the school side is this, quote, our intention was to promote the fact that those who speak a language other than English still pledge to salute this great country, end quote there. So was this just an innocent mistake with well-intentioned action there? Joining me now is Dr. Zuhdi Jasser from the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. He's also the author of...
He's not for democracy, he's a big liar. He's for imperialism and more blood. He has been in military, he doesn't care about human life. If he cared, as I told him at the University of Arizona, a couple of months ago, when those atrocities committed by Israel, he would be the one condemning that. Doesn't matter whether it's Arab or Jew or a Christian or Muslim, if a person is killed, innocent people, attacked by military, who is aggressive, who uses extreme force, that should be condemned, regardless of their race or religion or party. But this guy doesn't have that integrity. He is for the Goliath. He is for the powerful. And we see many of these people with inferiority complex and need fame and money. And when you look at the Wikipedia about him, you will find where are the sources. These are the ones we know. Also, secretly, he's fed.
A battle for the soul of Islam. Doctor, thanks for being with us here. So,
it's great to be with you.
Let me ask you this. Is this about intolerance?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, we have to look at what's happening. We are at war, Elizabeth, and yes, Arabic is my mother tongue, and I love my language and the Arabic culture, but this is not in a vacuum, and they didn't decide to just sort of recite Arabic literature. They're reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Imagine, Elizabeth, in World War II, if we had decided to recite the Pledge of Allegiance in German. We weren't fighting all Germans, but we were at a war against evil German nationalists, and that would have struck a nerve in America that would have been absurd. So again, we are at war against the ISIS, against the Islamic State, against radical...
Has nothing to do with that. These are the people who are killed more by your weapons than they killed you. Look at the numbers in Iraq and in Afghanistan. The drones are killing indiscriminately. Many people the drones kill are innocent people. People having, let's say, marriage ceremony and big parties, they are attacked. Imagine in the United States there are drones. Even once, twice they kill civilians, all the entire United States population will go crazy about that. There is terror against us. And then liken them, liken all Arabs like Nazis, they basically like that. And then, even if it is that, if there is German students, German Americans here, they say American national anthem in their own language, still it wouldn't be, you would be happy. You should be happy. Americans should be happy. They are not saying Nazi national anthem, American national anthem. It is bigotry because there are Nazis and also become a bigot like them, become racist like them, and hate German language. Treat all Germans like Nazis. Exactly Nazis did. Basically, he's justifying racism, not only racism, even beyond racism, hatred, phobia towards a certain language. And by using an analogy which is not an analogy. However you look at it, it is distortion, and it is basically shows lack of conscience in this person.
Islam, they use my scripture, they use my Arabic language in a way that I find offensive. But, you know, you have to look at the translation. We would be saying, those kids didn't probably know what they were saying. You know, I get it. They were probably well-intentioned. But what they were saying in Arabic would be lost in translation. It's the exact core of what we're fighting. And we have to understand why Americans were outraged.
You know, this was part of a week to celebrate foreign languages. So you're saying specifically here, because the context that...
Okay, celebration of foreign language. And this stooge, this useful idiot, they picked this guy. An Arab is saying this. I can't believe it. And he's justifying this bigotry and racism.
That word includes war. It involves wartime, particularly against ISIS. Are you saying that this is so different than them saying it in French, in Spanish, in Italian, and what?
It's very...
They're playing softball. She's regurgitating. I'm sorry, English is my fifth language chronologically. I know you will find me. Who is this foreigner? If you are a bigoted redneck. But she is basically recycling the same thing in order to make him say the same thing over and over with different words, but they want to just promote racism.
Because we are at war against radical Islam, which uses the Arabic language. I mean, let's think about it in Arabic. They would have said, Ummah wahida taht Islam, or under God, or under Allah. So to them, El-Baghdadi is trying to unify the caliphate under that. So the youth, our Muslim youth that might be radicalized, they're Islamo-patriots going to fight with ISIS. So the pledge...
ISIS and all others, they get power, they get more recruitment because of stooges like you and people, these warmongers like the Fox and Neocons and basically similar. Exactly. It is the atrocities committed by people like you which create more recruitment, more sympathy to those barbarians over there. I know it, I'm inside. I have my message in English and Turkish have converted many people who joined in those terror organizations, from ISIS to Al-Qaeda. I have evidence. They contact me. Some of them are under great threat. Some of them are threatened to be killed. Who knows, some of them are killed. But not only you can convert any of them to your version of stoogeness, you make, in fact, many of them to hate you and Americans at the same time to go join them. Honest people, people with integrity and conscience, sense of justice, the peacemakers of the world see you, you are a bloody stooge. Therefore, we should expose these people. We should expose the real nature of these people. Throughout history, we see this kind of warmongers, but this is much lower than this person. This person she's a racist. She is racist. He is racist too, but he's betraying his own race. That's the lowest you can get. You cannot be lower than that. She's not betraying her race. She's racist, evil. Many in the folks, like Hanshanity, many of them, and or anyway, who else? Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, these people. But he is not only racist, he is also betraying his own racism. And when they look at him, they know he is a lowly person. Because they know they don't have conscience. They know what atrocities the United States military is doing, as Eisenhower warned us against. You remember? Please watch one of my videos, The American Janus, and also read some of my articles at 19.org, especially Manifesto for Islamic Reform, or The American Janus. That article is a good article. Also, if you want, listen my speech at European Parliament. It is about a 20-minute speech, but the last word of it, you may find it somewhere. It's on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, but my videos are all over. Other people also, I give them permission to publish. And also my interviews couple of interviews with Noam Chomsky. And there are also, mostly right now I'm making videos in Turkish, but I think close to 100 videos I have in English, if you understand. Okay, nice talking to you. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to myself right now. But hopefully we'll have a conference in Europe, in Germany this summer. We decided to make it September, and also in the United States hopefully we'll have another conference. In the past we did Critical Thinkers for Islamic Reform, but we didn't continue there. We did also at Oxford University. Also I have a speech at Princeton University. You will find Peacemaker's Constitution. I have a constitution draft based on the principles of the Quran. Please read that one. Let's see what you think. Thank you very much. See you next time.
What is Islam? What are the sources of Islam? What are the sources of Islam? What is Islam?
Burada sen ifşa oldun.
Nereye?
Gidiyorum.